Well guys, happy Thanksgiving and thank you for tuning in on this special day, on this special episode of Quad Racers. Today we have something really nice and sketchy. What are the key differences between the Crf150r and the Crf150f? We've been wanting to do this video for a while now. I just feel like a lot of beginner riders, they tend to look at these two bikes for beginning and starting out, so I've always wanted to know what the key differences are. And the mechanic's dad, it just so happened he has both of these bikes, so we wanted to take this opportunity to just show you guys the key differences and yeah, I guess just give you our honest review. So yeah, we'll leave all the specs.
Okay guys,
we'll leave the valve clearances and the specs to the mechanic.
Oh, I'm just putting the valve cover back on because I had to adjust my valve clearances.
OEM ratios.
What have we got, mechanic?
Start with the obvious differences. Pretty much the biggest difference here is this is a trail bike, this is a race bike. This has, I think it's like 9.5 to 1 compression. This runs 11.7.
This is a 2009, this is a 2006. They're very similar.
Yeah, size and everything's very similar, but obviously you got inverted forks on this one. This one's just a regular, I don't know what they call that, but it's just a regular fork design. This has the nice inverted ones. This is an electric start only. There's no kick start. This is kick start only. Disc brake front and rear on the R. Disc brake front, drum rear on the F. This one's obviously air cooled. You got the fins. That one's got nice big radiators right there. This one's running a regular carb, just a round style. I don't know what they call that, but it's just a normal carb. And on the R's, they put a slide. It's like a guillotine carb. It's a flat slide instead of the round pin in the middle. Definitely a way better carb on the R.
Both bikes are bone stock. Both have been taken care of and maintained very well. We can't go too crazy on them for the test today. And we're not expert riders either. We haven't been practicing on these bikes. We haven't wheelied them. We've barely rode these bikes, so this is a good time for even us as beginners on these bikes to review them and just give you the honest check.
Now when we get into this video, you're gonna see this bike has about 23 horsepower and this one has like 13. So it'll be interesting to see how well they compare, even though they're totally different in the amounts of power that they make.
Curious.
So yeah, before we go ahead and do the tests and the review, if you're new here or stopping in for the first time, consider subscribing. We're trying to grow this channel. We're trying to do a lot more sketchy reviews in the future. Big thank you for everyone who's supporting us on Patreon.
It means a lot to us. It's gonna allow us to do a lot more stuff like we're doing right here, except maybe one day these will be our own bikes in our own shop.
Yep. And without further ado, we're gonna do some top speed runs. We're gonna do some wheelies.
We're gonna do top speed tests. We're gonna do jumps. We're gonna do wheelies. We're gonna do it all. We might even snap the frame. Who knows?
We're gonna do some tests. Do some tests. We're gonna do some obstacles. So let's get it going.
Let's get it.
Cold start.
There's a huge sound difference. The F is basically silent. The R is just, you can't even hear the F with the R running.
We'll get the stock sound test of the Crf150f. And it's not smoking, it's just really cold out. These bikes are both mint. He might have even rebuilt both of them, I'm not sure. I know, yeah, the maintenance on these though is pristine. All right, now here's the Crf150r sound test. And that's the stock exhaust on this. Yep, you can't even hear the other bike over it. All right, up next we're gonna do a top speed test. Basically, they're both gonna go down to the bottom of the hill and they're just gonna go up as fast as they can.
Rolling start.
Rolling start. A top speed test, it's more of a race test. It's to get yeah, we can't really do top speed, but this is the race / like torque test. All right, no rolling start for this one. we have the mechanic on the 150R and the gas man on the 150F. You can just see the 150R overtakes the bike. I mean, that's what you'd expect.
Surprisingly, this has a lot of torque.
Yeah.
A lot of torque on the F. I gotta say, I'm very impressed on how it handles compared to the R.
How's the 150R feel?
Fast.
All right, let's swap riders.
Same thing?
All right, now we got the gas man on the 150R and the mechanic on the 150F. Wow, I'm surprised. So it seems like whoever's riding the 150R is either able to overtake the other rider or win, but it's slight. See, like there at the end, he was starting to overtake him. All right, how did the speed feel? How did the torque feel on each?
It's weird. It's
They're
like
pretty evenly matched somehow, but
It's-
I think it's only because of the grip in the grass or something.
How are the tires? Are the tires the same? Tires are good on both bikes. So how's like the gearing feel?
This one has your standard trail gearing. First is so low, it's just, you'll crawl out of anything. I honestly think second gear in this is like even with first gear in that.
yeah.
What's your opinion?
Yeah, he's definitely right with the gearing. It's weird because like I think the sound definitely has to do with like tricking you, because when you hear this and you're revving, it's like that just high RPM, and at the same time you look over to your left and the F's doing the same speed as you,
Well,
but you're just flying.
This one has 12 horsepower, that one has 23. So there's definitely a difference here, but
A lot of it.
on a dirt track, we could probably wind that one out a lot more because of the grass, it'll just slip all over the place.
Obviously, these aren't premium race conditions. We're not professional riders. This is the Quad Racers review, so
This is definitely
take it for what it's worth.
I'd say my opinion so far on the F is that it actually does pretty well compared to that.
yeah.
It's pretty fast. It's not going to do wheelies or anything like that one does, but it's pretty fast.
The F has a lot of speed. It keeps up with the R, but you know this will at the end beat it. But I give the F definitely a 9 out of 10.
Perfect trail bike.
Up next, we got the jump test. We're not going to do crazy jumps, but because we can't wreck these things,
Suspension.
they're not our. This is the suspension / jump test.
Bill Stein suspension.
They're both completely stock. The suspension's the same as it would be coming right from the factory, so.
All right, up first is the mechanic on the 150F for the jump test. Again, up first is the mechanic on the 150F.
By far the most comfortable, just all around, just pleasing bikes to ride. I definitely want to get a 150R.
Alright, so the jumping comes down a lot to the rider. I think because the gasman's always riding the RM125, he can just jump both bikes better.
test, you can tell that that one actually has way more ground clearance. It went like right over the log.
How'd that feel?
Felt really nice. A lot more clearance. The bottom doesn't drag on it. A lot more clearance, definitely.
This one dragged the bottom the whole time, so maybe that's something to think about when buying one of these, because that thing clears logs.
Yeah, even though this one's supposed to be the trail bike, I mean, if you know how to manage that power, that one does have more ground clearance, so keep that in mind.
Like 13, 14 inches of ground clearance.
Well,
just to clear this up, this is the big wheel version. This isn't a normal one, I don't think.
yeah, okay, that is a big wheel though, so keep that in mind. All right, they just switched bikes for the obstacle test. Up first is the 150R with the mechanic. Then we got the gas bin on the 150F. No clearance, he says.
Oh, the suspension in the front's really soft too, so when you hit these, it definitely sinks in.
It's a very slippery log, so it's a good test for sure.
I'm gonna have to say that one probably has about 2 inches less ground clearance than this one. So that one's got maybe 10 or 11. This one's got like 13, 14, something like that.
This thing runs really smooth though, like just the clutch and the brakes. It's like a really good bike. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a wheelie test, or do you want to?
We can both do some wheelies.
All right, we're gonna do a wheelie test, but
With him on that because I don't want. I'm not.
yeah.
If anything goes wrong, it's on the mechanic.
Be careful with this test. We got to keep these bikes nice.
I ain't really.
Got the mechanic on the 150R.
I've never wheelied this bike before, so it's gonna suck a little bit.
Yeah, keep that in mind. We don't practice with these bikes and we never ride them. To get comfortable wheeling on a bike, I mean, it takes a couple days of practice at least. This video is just to give you guys an idea on the differences.
This thing could do wheelies if there was a better rider on it, but I've actually done a wheelie on it.
Let's do a quick message to the haters, because they're like, oh, I could do that on my bike, I'm a better rider.
Garage will be in our comments.
Oh yeah, here we go.
First time riding these bikes, I actually like.
You see, this is a good way to review it though, because we're not experts on these bikes. It's our first time.
So you know how easy it would be to ride one of these, basically.
Yeah.
It's not like we're professional riders showing you how it's done.
So, you know, if you're a kid looking to buy a bike.
Definitely both good choices.
Yeah.
Depends what kind of riding you're
If you want to do trail riding, I'd go with the F for sure.
This ain't even bad. This would not be bad for trail riding.
Yeah, you know what? I've completely changed my views. In the past, I would have said go for the F, but after seeing the extra clearance, like, you might as well just go with the R.
Yeah, put a bigger sprocket on the rear. Change both sprockets so you get a little more low end.
That's if you want to do it for trail riding, but get the big wheel maybe if you want that extra ground clearance.
Yeah, don't go buying the regular R.
Another thing to keep in mind, if you have neighbors that whine and complain like us, you might want to stick with the 150F so you can daily it.
Yeah, this doesn't make a sound, like just listen.
Sounds like an XR100.
Sounds so clean. That's what I love by it. Clean performance.
Yeah, if you're looking for a super low maintenance bike that won't annoy your neighbors, the F's the way to go. It's air cooled, no liquid cooling to deal with, simple carburetor, drum brake in the rear.
Electric start.
Well, the only thing I don't like about that bike is it doesn't have a Kickstarter, electric only, but hey. Suspension on this thing's just smooth as butter. It's a little bit stiffer because it's set up for racing. I think that one's more of like a cushion.
Yeah, this one I think is more like a Lincoln.
Yeah, definitely like
A Lincoln truck.
This is a Lincoln, and that's the Raptor.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that kind of works.
I guess.
We hope you guys...
Well, guys, we're gonna go eat some Sonic. See you later.
Yep, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you're new here, consider subscribing, consider helping us on Patreon. It means a lot.
Consider commenting and hating on us, because
we don't care about the haters. We're just out here enjoying life, riding some bikes for the first time.
That's right. Definitely check us out on Instagram, and without further ado, give it a check.
give it a check.
Everything you need to know is in the description below.
Check.